Hello, Judith. Can you hear me? Oops. All right, guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome to our live session, the very first collaboration live session for this month. And trust me, it's going to be a very awesome month. While we're waiting for our guests, Judith, to come on. So today we'll be talking about something very, very important. I'll be considering some of our Nigerian celebrities and their marriages and and other stuff. But majorly we're talking about divorce, and can call it divorce, can call it divorce. So which one should we follow? I think we should go with divorce here. So I'm more comfortable with that. So divorce and the effect of divorce on children, on the environment, on the society, on the family generally. So that's what we're talking about today. So you're going to join me as I welcome. Okay, let me see if I can get that right now. So if you're just joining, you're so very, very welcome to Mist. All right, I think she's here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. How are you
Yes, I
doing,
can.
Judith? Judith, you're welcome. So glad to have you
Good
here today.
evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
How was your day? How was your day? How
How are
was
you
your day? How was your day?
doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. How was your day today?
Yeah, me too. You.
Yeah. So how was your day today? How did your day go today?
Good evening.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Very well. I thank God for today. And how was
Okay.
yours?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my day was
Thank God for a fair weather.
beautiful. Beautiful. So everybody, you're
Yeah.
welcome. Hello, Immaculata. Thank you for joining. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So great to have you here. So today we'll be talking about
So,
something
what are we
important.
talking about?
We're talking about divorce, and we're talking about the effect of divorce
Yeah,
on
what are we
children.
talking about?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh, the network is bad. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me? What? Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking about the effect of divorce on children, on the society, and every other person around us.
Yeah, I can hear
Divorce,
you.
okay, divorce has been a very, very great topic, and trust me, this topic
Yes.
is
Yes,
very, very
very well.
important, very, very important
I
topic.
can hear you.
All right. So
Yes.
we're talking about the effect of divorce, and trust me, everybody that is here, everybody that has joined us, thank you for joining. Trust me, it's going to be a very, very awesome time in our midst. So I'll give the floor to
Go
that.
on, Charles. Go on. I can hear you.
All right. So hello, official Vanny. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I'm so great. I'm so
I
grateful
hope
to
you
have
can
you.
hear me too.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Your network is kind of bad. Can you hear me? Okay, I think we lost that there. So we're talking about something very, very important. Something very, very important. So we're talking about the effect of divorce, and yeah, thank you very much, Vanny. Thank you for joining us as well. So the effect of divorce on the sites and also on the children. So one very important thing, although we'll be using some celebrities that probably have gone through divorce, and also we're using some of them as a case study to what we are talking about today. So on the very, very first effect, I don't really know, all of their stories, but there's something that is very, very, there's a line that draws along all of the diverse cases and all the diverse things I've seen in my life, right? So, very, very important. And that thing is that it makes children feel very, very lonely, right? So, as a child coach and a child mentor, I've seen a lot of children who have gone through divorce, and personally, most of my person that have gone through divorce, and also parents not staying with their mothers, sorry, with their wives, and probably the wives not staying, again with their husband. So this has been a very, very big issue in Nigeria, and trust me, it has been also a very, very big issue in Africa. So something that we take this topic as a very, very important topic. So that's why we brought this topic, to make sure that we analyze all of these things and help you as a child, or maybe help you as a parent also, to be able to navigate this whole divorce case and all. So it's very, very important that we talk about it. So one of the very thin lines that draw along is that there's poor performance in academics, right? So poor performance in academics is one of the very, very big effects for children, right? So you have that children that go through children that their parents go through divorce. They have most of them go through bad performance in academics. They go through bad performance in it. Me personally, it affected me when I think I was in JSS1. Yeah. So when I started to feel this, I felt this in a very, very strong way. And trust me, it was not easy at all, to work on. It's not easy to work on. So as I'm talking to you now, having parents who are divorced is a very, very big issue for me. So I had a lot of setbacks in school then. I had a lot of setbacks in school. I saw that most of my classmates were going ahead of me, right? So I wasn't able to get myself. So it is a very, very big issue, right? So if you look at these celebrities among Edochie and AY, these people, they have this kind of similar issue. And trust me, they may not come out to tell. Yes, thank you very much for Shavani. Very, very important. It has a lot of negative effects on kids. So they may not be able to tell you, okay, their children may not be able to come out and tell you plain, this is what our children is actually suffering from, right? They won't be able to tell you. So it's very, very important that we note all of these things. Very, very important that we note all of these things. So as I'm talking to you now, most of them are passing through these issues, and you may not really know because you're not inside their houses to know. So most of these gist lovers and the rest, they carry all of this. They carry this news, right? They carry all of these news to show you that, okay, these people are suffering, but they don't really know. They don't have a correct information on what is actually happening, right? So it's very, very important. So another thing is that they have feelings of guilt, right? So it tampers with their emotion. Thank you very much, Official Vani. You say physically and emotionally. Emotional guilt is a very, very big issue, right? It's a very big issue. So emotional guilt, it brings them, it makes children feel like they have done something wrong, right? The guilt goes on the children, right? So if you see a child that is always probably sad in school. I had a kid like that in my school one of those days, right? I was organizing lessons for them. So the child was very, very sad. I had to ask, what's the problem? She now told me, okay, this is what happened, and this is what happened. Name, behold. I mean, this child has gone through a lot. I also put myself in that shoes because I also went through a lot. So emotional trauma, emotional guilt is it's a very, very big issue to these children when their parents have experienced divorce. So the next one is that they are prone to substance abuse, right? So something called substance abuse. So you see that those children, they go through they take some drugs, they do some very ill-mannered things that they're not supposed to do because of this issue, right? Because of this issue. So what we are trying to say in essence is that whenever if there's a case of divorce, you need to really check those children. They may not really share it with their parents. Of course, as I said, in some of my sessions, I always say that your child should always be the first police, should be your first. So you as a parent rather should be the first reporting point for every child. So if your child cannot come to you whenever something is wrong to come and complain to you, and then there's a very, very big problem, you don't know how to settle it because that child won't be able to come to you, right? It won't be able to come to you. So if you're able to make your child very, very friendly, up to an extent that your child can tell you anything, that's where you will now be able to know all of these things. But most of us, we grew up in this kind of atmosphere where we couldn't talk to our parents, we couldn't tell our mothers anything. Sometimes we tell our mothers, but our fathers, no, 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 no. African homes, no, we never got used to our fathers. So it keeps us in perpetual, state of fear, right? Perpetual state of fear. And as Immaculata would say divorce affects children's self-esteem. So that's where the self-esteem comes. So when it keeps this child in perpetual state of fear, the self-esteem comes. So that helps. That makes the child very, very poor, and the child does not understand what's happening around him or her. So the next one is loss of faith in marriage and family unit. So lots of faith in marriage and family units, right? So like for me, there was a point where I told myself that I was not going to marry. It was that annoying. Trust me, it was that annoying. the point where I told myself I was not going to marry. The reason why I told myself this is because I saw that it wasn't working. I was like, what's the essence? What's the need, of going through all of these things without, going through all of these things, going through all of this, probably going through all of this suffering, going to an extent of having a girlfriend, and even going to an extent of even, proposing to the person. You spend a lot of money, you do this, you do that, and the rest of it, right? So he affected me in such a way that, as I said, I had made a covenant with myself that I was never going to marry. So I never had relationship with people. I never had, girls coming around me, made me feel like they were going to come and betray me, right? So, and nobody told me any story that, okay, your father this, your mother this. No, I was not, going to, listen to both ends of the story and then probably looking for who to blame and all. No, it was not time for the blame game. So whenever there's a divorce, it's not time for blame game. You saw that Yo was going somewhere, talking about his own, telling the internet about what happened, and the wife probably kept quiet for a very long time. Then she finally spoke. Spoke up, yeah. So it was not time for the blame game, right? It's time to sit down together, and work something out, right? So most of us, we don't get to work this thing out as parents, right? So thank you very much, Amachu. Amachu, thank you very much for joining us. I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Makulesa. Thank you, Official Vani. Trust me, it has been an eventful time here. Hello, Evelyn. Thank you for joining. I'm so grateful to have you here in our midst today. Right. So while we are still waiting for our second creator to join. So as I was sharing, the next effect is loss of interest in social activities. Loss of interest in social activities. So it's very, very, very notable that children that their parents go pass through divorce and all, right? Their interest in social activities reduces randomly. I mean, randomly reduces randomly, and you don't get these children. In fact, did I say randomly? No, it's rapidly. It reduces rapidly. So they find it very hard to talk with kids, talk with their mates, feel free around themselves and all. So as Immaculata has said, it affects their self-esteem. So also this self-esteem also cut across this particular point, right? So it affects this particular point as well, because it makes them lose interest in social activity. So whenever, probably like in Nigerian schools, we have stuff like inter-house sports, drama activities, going to school early and all of those things, involving yourself in games and the rest. These children totally lost interest in all of these things. Whenever I see a child sitting down on his own, so secluded, the child doesn't want, so isolated, another word we can use, so lonely and all. So these children become so lonely. They don't get to mix up with other children. I know that affects them as well, because it doesn't build their emotional intelligence. When emotional intelligence is such a way that children are able to detect, right? They're able to detect whom to talk to, whom not to talk to. But this one, they totally seclude themselves from other children. All right, so that's another effect. So another effect we'll be considering today is difficulty adapting to change, right? Difficulty adapting to change. So now when once this divorce happens now, it affects the child. So sometimes like the parents will say, one of the father might say, one of the father might say, I want to go with this particular child, right? I want to go with the boy child, and the girl might say, I want to go with the girl child. I mean, it's so insane, right? So these children, it now becomes very hard for them to adapt to that change. So you all of a sudden, you're living with your both parents. All of a sudden, boom, you are staying with one parent. Doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make sense. It becomes very hard for them, to adapt to that change. So a lot of changes come through for them, and they are not able to manage this change. I mean, they were not created. They are not developed emotional intelligence to manage this change. As human beings, we can adapt to change, but you see, these people, what we're talking about, we are talking about kids here. And sometimes it happens to very, very younger kids. I mean, children of probably 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, How can that happen? All of a sudden, you've developed probably an emotional attachment with your father. All of a sudden, you cannot see your father again, right? You developed emotional intelligence for your sorry, not emotional what's it called now? Adaptability with your mother, and then all of a sudden your mother is not there again. How do you navigate it? Even we as adults, when our fathers die or when our mothers die, or maybe one of our close friends, they pass on and all, it becomes very hard for us to manage that particular that particular action, right? It becomes very hard for us to manage that particular issue. So it becomes a very, very big issue for even we adults. No, so now more or less talk about children. All right. So another one we're talking about is what's it called now? Emotionally sensitive. So they become overly emotionally sensitive, right? It's a very, very big issue because these children they become so alert to the emotional response, emotional stuff and all. So it's a very, very big issue for them, right? So as humans, we are not supposed to be overly right on something or maybe under something. So we are supposed to be probably if you're talking about probably on a scale of 1 to 100, so on your emotional sensitivity should be around let's say 80, 85. Whenever it crosses to like 90, it makes you look like you are insane, right? Makes you like you're insane, makes you like you are mad. So that's the way it is. So these children, they become overly sensitive to their emotions, become overly sensitive to their emotions, and it's a very, very big issue for them. Trust me, very, very big issue for them. So it cuts across all aspects of their lives. It affects their academics, it affects their emotions, it affects their if they have probably worship places, it affects their worship. There was a time that this happened, I stopped completely going to church, right? I stopped going to church. As a Christian, you may have Muslims as well that will not believe in their faith again. It affects their faith as well. So it makes you feel, makes you question your faith as a child. Make the child question his or her faith. So that's another effect of this thing. So the thing is that we are not going to just continue talking about the issue and all. We're also going to talk about the the mitigation. How do you mitigate? So let's say, for example, a couple that have gone through divorce already and it already happened. So there's something that said there's this proverb that they say. I'm trying to remember it about something about spill the tea. Who can remember me? I think about spill the tea. Whether let this tea. So I can't really remember that proverb. Right? It's an idiom. Say something about um doing something. Okay. There's another one that says medicine after death. Yeah. Then there's another one that says that something that really let the I really forgotten. I really forgotten. Either let the spilled tea remain or something like that. So the tea has already spilled. So let's say, for example, now we have divorced parents probably on this channel watching me now. So if you're divorced parents out there, I'll be giving you some three very, very three key rather. So I'm going to give you three key and important. What that's I said key. Three key and very, very important mitigation stuff you can put together to help your child not really experience this. Although it's an experience they will never forget, but there are three key things you can do. The very first one is continue to stay involved as parents. So let's say a father and a mother, a husband and wife, that's a couple now that's separated. Yes, we have accepted a father that's separated, but they need to keep involved. They need to keep being involved as parents. Whenever you as a parent don't get involved in a child, so it now makes the child really get this PTSD, right? The child gets PTSD. The child gets a flashback of what happened. Probably the worst of all, if the child was there when it happened, right? I think my own is even better that I was not there, right? I was not there when it happened. So I was very, very young. My what's it called now? My my consciousness was not as good as it is now. It would have been very, very bad, right? So for parents, for children who experience that, who were very, very conscious during that period, it will be a very, very big problem for them, right? Very, very big problem for them. So it's very, very important that we keep staying involved as parents. Keep staying involved as parents. It's very, very important. So whenever keep staying involved as parents, it helps the kids not to really feel the impact. So let's say you're staying alone, and because of this, you don't let probably the father does not let doesn't let the mother come to visit. You get, and the mother also does not let the father come to visit. It's a very, very big problem because there's something that is very, very sure, and that sure thing is that the child will always need the father and the mother to be who he is or to be who she is, because the father has a part to play and the mother also has a part to play. So whenever these parts are not really defined, these parts are not really defined, it will be a very big issue for them. All right. So, and then the next one is, do not forbid meetings with the other parents. Do not forbid meetings with the other parents. So, it's very, very obvious that some of them, they want to, like I said before, they want to forbid meeting with the other one. They don't let the child see the other one, see the father, or the father does not let the child see the mother, right? It's a very, very big issue. It becomes a very, very big issue for these children. So if you have any question, I want to ask in the comment section and I'll be glad to answer you. Thank you very much, Evelyn. I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you, Maculeta, for staying through. Thank you, Official Viney, for staying through. I'm so grateful you're here. So if you have a question, you can ask and I'll be answering them right now. So because I have like the last one to share, the last mitigation to share. So before that last mitigation comes, I want to get all of your questions. All of your questions. You can be able to answer all of them. So let me have your questions. Let me have your questions. Let me have your questions. All right, wait. Is there any question? Because I know very soon we'll be getting that. Is there any question? I am waiting. So now talking about these people, I know their children must have gone through, as I said, their children must have gone through all of these things, and then we are not aware. Because I mean, they won't come to your house and tell you that, okay, my child is suffering this and all of those things. So as I said, so the next one is, so I think I'll add an extra two. Add extra two to us. Add extra two to us. So the first one I said was continue to stay involved as parents. Next one was do not forbid meetings with the other parents. So the next one I will say that you should maintain a healthy routine. Right. So this is very, very applicable, especially to toddlers and probably to preschoolers. So do not let divorce disrupt the routine of your child. Do not let divorce disrupt what the routine of your child, the healthy routine of your child, the daily upkeep, probably for feeding, bathing, sleeping. I understand that it may be very, very emotional, but do not let this affect the child's upkeep and all. Right. So and also it will, what the thing is that if you let this to affect that, it's going to affect their kind of lifestyle. It will affect the normal routine. Whenever something is being tampered with, the both parties they feel it, right? And also the next one is you should avoid long and murky custody dispute, right? So a custody battle is very, very ugly. It's a very ugly legal spat. So the father can decide to probably take it to the court, and then it will become a very big issue. Probably he said, you were owing me this, you were owing me that. They keep fighting amongst themselves. There's a popular saying that says that when two elephants fight, what happens? The grass suffers. The grass suffers. So whenever the parents are fighting, it's the child that suffers it and not the parent. The parent may suffer it, but the effect is not going to be so much on them as it will be on the children. So I have a question here by Official Vani says, how do you handle a scenario where the kids are minors but father still wants to keep them? Beautiful question. So the thing is that this is a very, very dicey question, right? So the thing is that the parents are supposed to come with what's it called now? They're supposed to come in agreement, right? So the father should not be that selfish, right? First of all, you have to think about the health of the child, the welfare of the child. So whenever this thing happens, the welfare of the child is very, very important, and not as the welfare of the both parents. Beautiful, because you came together and then you decided to give birth to this child. So as a minor, this child still needs the support of the mother more than any other thing. Yes, they may be attached to the mother because of this, but it doesn't still stop the fact that it doesn't still remove this fact that what's it called now? Scratch the fact that the fact that the child needs the mother, right? As I said before, you note I said something that the child needs the support of the mother and the father, right, to become who he or she needs to really be. All right. So the parents should not think about himself, should think about the child. The child's welfare is as important as any other thing. That's the first thing the parents should think about. So the needs to really think about this. So they should come to an agreement, and then they should say, okay, this child is a minor. By so that you can probably put in a legal agreement that by so time, so age, I'll come and pick this child, right? So it's a better way to do it. So when you pick the child, so that the child can now feel, the impact of the father and also the impact of the mother. All right, so it's very, very important. It's very, very important. All right, so the next one is I don't even answer the question, Vanny. I don't even answer the question. The father should not be, as I said, the father should not be selfish. Should think about, in any case of divorce, they should always think about the welfare of the child first before any other thing. So the next question for by Immaculata says, what best ways should couple handle divorce so as not to affect their children? As I said before, I said the first time that it should maintain a healthy routine, right? And also do not forbid meeting with each other. Do not forbid the meeting of your child with the mother, as the mother will not forbid meeting of the child with the father, right? It's very, very important. So I know that you know that they have gone to their separate ways, you have gone to your separate ways, but do not forbid the meeting of them. Yes, do not forbid the meeting of them. Do not forbid the meeting of them. Very, very important. And also, very, very important, you should not next one I said is that you should continue to stay involved as parents. It will help the child understand that there's a father and also there's a mother. So some divorce cases, you see that the child does not even remember the mother at all, and the mother does not even remember the child does also remember the father in some cases. So it becomes that bad. All right, it becomes that bad. So as I said, and also maintain a healthy routine. Do not break the routine. If the child is a minor, do not break the routine of taking care of the child, bathing the child, feeding the child, doing other things you used to do. Probably used to go out with the child, probably in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Just maintain the routine. It's very, very important so as to help the child not feel the effect as much as it's supposed to. Truth be told, the child always feel the effect, but we are trying to mitigate, we are trying to reduce the effects that the child is going to feel. All right. So, and the next one I said is that avoid long and murky custody dispute. You say, you say, I want the child to stay with me. The father will say, I want the child to stay with me. The mother say, I want the child to stay. I mean, it's not important at that point. What's important is that the child should be taken care of, irrespective of who the child is staying with. The child should be taken care of. As I said, as official advice says, the welfare of the kids, they are very, very important. They comes first. Forget about your selfish attitude and all of them. It doesn't matter at this point. All right. So, and the last one, I think I've given 3, right? The last one is that do not keep the impending divorce as a secret. That's the last one I'm talking about this evening. Do not keep the impending divorce as a secret, right? It is not secret code. It's something that you already done. I mean, as I said, the tea have been spilled already. So what do? You have to mop it. You have to clean the ground. So do not keep it as a secret. It's not a secret code. Revealing the imminent divorce as the last moment can confuse and shock the child. So if you're planning for divorce, why are you now revealing it at the just for example, what happened between with Edochie and his wife and his ex-wife rather? I'm very, very sure that those kids are going to be very, very shocked. Trust me, those kids will be shocked. We are the ones thinking that, oh, because this is that money does not matter. It doesn't matter whatever it is that they have. They don't really care about it. What's at that point is that these children are going through things, but you won't know. You're not that nanny. You're not there. You're not that brothers and sisters. You won't know. All right. So the next one. So as I said before, so perhaps the best way to prevent the child from suffering is to try and resolve the family conflicts and get back to that as a happy family. However, it is not if this particular not getting together is not possible. You have to follow following are some tips that keep the little child from to keep the little child mentally strong. There was a topic I did on how to raise resilient kids, how to raise strong and resilient kids, right? We have resilient kids who don't really suffer from all of this. There are kids who are very, very strong mentally, right? So if you train your child to be resilient and strong mentally, some of these effects will not really get into the child, because most of the things that gets to the child is an emotional issue, right? It's an emotional issue. So he said couples should learn to forgive each other even after divorce. Yes, very, very important. So as to still have a healthy relationship to co-parent. Beautiful. Very, very important. So couples, as I said before, you should be able to get back together. You get back together. I know for sure that my mother is not talking to my father at the moment. Oh my God, it's very, very bad. Because when I was a little bit younger, at the time I'm going to tell a little story about myself. I hope you get understanding from the story I'll be telling you. Okay, so when I was a little bit younger, by then they're already separated and all. So I went to stay with my mother. I think that was then in Anambra State then. Stay with my mother then. So I now told my mother that I want to speak with my dad. Mother said, okay, give me money then. They used to do phone booth and say, go to the phone booth, you can talk to him. I'll go back and I'll talk to him. So while I'm talking to him, he's there telling me this, is that, telling me his own part of the story. I mean, the child does not really need to hear about all of these stories. What the child needs what the child really needs to hear about is I need to take care of this child emotionally, so it won't get to affect the child, right? So then, as I said before, I'll be very, very annoyed, right? Sometimes I'll just get annoyed over nothing, right? It's because either my mother has triggered me or my father has triggered me, right? So it became that bad, very, very annoying. As a parent, you wouldn't want your child to go through this. So you need to learn to forgive each other. So if they are, I mean, what's the essence of marriage if you cannot forgive each other? You did not think about it that is a human being you're getting married to. Even if you married a pastor, you married an imam, you married somebody that's very, very, probably very, very influential in the community, in the society, you need to understand that they are still humans. She was a human before he became your wife. He was a human before he became your husband. So whatever it is the case may be, I know that we have a very woke generation that will be like, oh, a father, no, my husband cannot cheat and I'll still be around the person, right? So I want to ask a question. Do you understand that? The question is, how did our parents do? I mean, those are olden days parents and all. How did they do? How were they managing it before? So if there were issues like this and this comes on, how is it that they were able to take care of the child and the thing not really probably get to the child? Okay, are we saying that our eyes are now finally opened and we are so wild now? That what we are trying to say, right? So that's not just the case. Case is that we are the very, very fast generation, right? Very, very fast generation. We always want to see the result of things. I mean, so exactly, Vani, exactly. Her parents tolerated a lot. I mean, they so as to just keep the house together. They tolerated a lot of things, that we are not tolerating. Okay, no problem. We are now in our generation and we don't want to tolerate anything. No problem. But yet, if you don't want you don't tolerate anything, but please just keep it away from the child. That is my area of concern this evening. Keep it away from the child. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the emotional trauma the children of Joel Edochie will be going through when they eventually grow up and then watch all the things that people are talking about their family? Can you imagine the emotional trauma they will be going through? Can you imagine the emotional trauma they will be going through? Can you imagine the emotional trauma they will be going through when they begin to see they see their mate and their mates are telling them stuff like your mother is separated. You know how children can be very, very sarcastic when they want to talk, right? So can you imagine the trauma they'll be going through? If not for anything, for the children. Do it. Stay together for the children. Right? You cannot stay together. Don't let it affect the children in all of these ways. So can you imagine those kind of trauma? Can you imagine people that have used their pictures for something Just like this thumbnail that we use now, right? We have to use this thumbnail because we wanted to pass a message so that you understand the reason why we are talking about this. Is very, very important. So it's not about looking for a very, very beautiful lady to marry. It's about knowing if you're going to going to stay with the child, you're going to stay with the parents, rather stay with the husband, stay with the wife. You were all meant to stay together. So why the separation? That's the question. Why the separation? Why are you going to? Do you know that this person was going to do this thing? Do you understand? That is something that we have not been able to, talk about as parents. So it's very, very important. So I'll be having some other questions, and in the very nearest minutes, probably 5 to 10 minutes, we'll be done from here, and we'll be grateful. So thank you very much for joining. I'm so grateful. Do I still have other questions? I know other questions. I'll just do a closing remark, and then we'll go for today. And trust me, it's going to be a very, very awesome time. We'll be having these sessions at least once in a week, and we'll be talking about some of these issues. There are other things I would love to share with you, but I can't really share them now because we don't have enough time. So if you have any question, you can ask. If you don't have any question, I'll just do a closing speech, and then we'll be done. Oh, hello Malu, hello Esther. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Yes, it's very, very crazy. Trust me, it's very, very crazy. Okay, so I'll tell you a quick story about myself, and I'll be done. So there was a time that I came back. Then I left school, right? I came back. Okay. Okay. See what happened. To show you how effective this has been, right? To tell you how effective this has been, let me ask you a question. Now, I got a scholarship where I was in my I was in okay. I did up to like primary six, yeah. So in my primary six, I had a scholarship to study in one of the best schools in Anambra State then. It was it was it was a foreign school. Name withhold. I'm not going to mention the name of that school, but trust me, I got a scholarship to study in that school for 6 years. The scholarship letter is still my mom up till now. So then when I got that scholarship, I was supposed to start my JSS1 to SS3 there. So all of a sudden, my dad called one of those days and told my mom that he was so angry about the whole thing. He said he wants me to come back, to Cross River State and school there. Damn, I was so angry. I was like, "Are you serious? This man is going to let me miss the whole scholarship because of this." So you saw the effect that thing had on me. The effect the thing had on me was that I was not able to stay for that scholarship. I was not able to enjoy that scholarship just like my friends enjoyed it. I suffered for it because I had to prepare for that scholarship exams. I had to read overnight. I had to read a lot of sleepless nights, plenty other days, so as I'll be able to, stay together. So I'll be able to get my thoughts together and write the exams and pass it. And I wrote the exams and passed it. And all of a sudden, my father said I shouldn't go. I shouldn't, attend. I should come back to Calabar. I was like, okay. My mom said he doesn't want issues, I should go and all. So I came back. I went back to Calabar, and also when I got to Calabar, I had to, I had to start. I started adapting to change. The environment was so different. Everything was so different about the whole thing. Felt so awkward. I felt so awkward about the whole the whole new environment and the rest of it. It was so annoying. But I didn't have any other option but to do what? To just follow what they said I should do, right? So it was so annoying. So I lost that scholarship. I lost friends. I lost environment. I had to start all over again. Can you imagine how devastating it would look like? That's number one. Number two, something I also lost. So when I came back, I was passing through issues. I was now blaming my stepmom for the issue that happened, which I was not supposed to do that, right? It wouldn't have gone to that extent if my father, my mother had probably gone together and to forgive themselves and then they will move on. Well, anyway, since they didn't forgive themselves, they would have drawn the line so well that the child won't be able to feel so much of this issue, right? So it was that bad. So it also affected, as I said, it affected my performance in school. So I got to school, I was always top of my class, but I mean, it affected my performance. I was just down and all. So that same issue crept into my university days. My university days, I stayed with, I had my classmates. I mean, they never knew, probably I came from such a home. They didn't know, right? I was always there, and it got to a point it affected my school fees payment and the rest of it. I was brought down from my what's it called now? My CGPA went so down. I mean, it was so annoying. That was even I'd even grown. Oh, imagine I'd even grown. So imagine other children who were not able to fight these things. And here am I talking about child issues. That was the main motivation behind starting this movement. So childish is not just a movement, it's not just a YouTube channel, it's also a movement. We are working on ground, we are on ground, and then we have a lot of volunteers. We have over 15 volunteers working with us, right? To make sure that this thing is a reality. So we usually drop our videos every week, and trust me, this week we're going to be dropping. We dropped a video yesterday. You can also go back to watch them. It's very, very important. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe to Judy's channel as well. I don't know, probably our network and stuff. Was not able to, let us stay in the live session. So please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this live as you join us. It's very, very important to help us grow as well. And so I'll be ending there. And trust me, I had a very, very great time with you all. Thank you, Official Vani. Thank you, Maculata. Thank you, Malo Esther. Thank you, Judith, as well. Thank you, Evelyn. Mama, you're so great. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so grateful for this. So I think I'll be giving an opportunity to ask the last question. So if you have any last questions, I'll be grateful to answer. I'll be grateful to answer your questions. And I think that'll be that for today. Any question? I don't want to say that there are no questions on the chat box, and then I will be done for the day. So I want to really appreciate all of you for coming out here, to support this live session, to like and also share to your friends. If you know someone that's passing through this issue, you can share, to them and all. And trust me, they will be very, very grateful that you shared a very, very great information and something that is helpful to all of them. So I think there are no questions. I am seeing on the comment section there are no questions. And I think that'll be all for today. Thank you so much, and I am so grateful. And have a wonderful night's rest. Don't forget, as you always say in CHILDish, every child is a gift. Every child is special. So what do? Treat them as one. Thank you. See you next week.